What we're going to do right now is go into our exercises. One thing I do at the start of every day whenever I do speaking is I riff improvisationally for about half an hour. I do that same principle as when I go out and do socializing. Why do you guys think that is? You have to wake up parts of your brain, okay? So you'll always see me do that at the start of each day. Now, what we're going to do is go into exercise. So what we've been building up to so far is a lot of work to teach you about public speaking and how to engage with people. Now, the reason why I wanted to teach that first, there's two main reasons why I want to get into that with you guys first. The first one is because everything that I can teach you about business and about success, my style is based on the ability to engage with people very quickly. It's the ability to engage with people, to move people, whether that's in sales, in marketing, whether that's in social connections, or whatever else. So as part of the way that I understand business, I take for granted, or as part of the lay of the land, that I have no intimidation to talk to anybody, that I know how to engage with people, I understand how to offer value and bring them into my world. So the first thing I'm showing you guys is that, but also here's another thing. Going into the future, in any aspect of your professional life, having the ability to have a social media profile is gonna be massive. Because, I mean, it really first started in dating. I observed this in dating. I remember when people started using Instagram for dating. And that shocked me because I thought Instagram's kind of cheesy. I didn't want to do it. It started with Snapchat, actually. I didn't want to do it. And here's what I began to realize related with dating. Let's say that you're meeting somebody, and you're an attractive person, you have a lot of options. And you met somebody out, and they texted you. They sent you a text. Now, you met another person, and you get to go look at their Instagram grid, for example, or whatever other social media, and you get to get a window within 30, 40 seconds into their entire lives. Then you get to watch stories of who they hang out with, what they're doing, what they're up to. You get a sense of their vibe. You get a sense that they're not going to be creepy. You get a sense that they're fun. You get to see commonalities of things that you might want to do together. And then meanwhile, some other person's sending you a text. What are you possibly going to communicate over text that could measure up to that? I don't think anything. And that was why when I saw in the dating world, anybody who resisted getting on social media, I just laughed because when I was actively doing social media, I would go out, meet a bunch of people, and I'd just throw them in my Instagram, and I'd wake up every day with 5 or 10 people inviting me out to hang out. That was the craziest experience. I've always known how to meet people, send them a text and meet up, but I've never had an experience where I just post fun stuff on my social media and people want to meet up with me. I've never had that. That's normal to me now. How is that any different than how I met any of you? Most of you in this room know me from the videos that I post online. I'm not meeting you out and sending you text messages to come to a live event with me. What I'm doing is I'm at some point making some kind of connection to you through the internet in most cases, and then there's videos online, and then you get to watch me. And I'm going to strategically add things into those videos to build trust, to build authority, to help you, to change your life, to create insight, to entertain you, and to create a situation. Here's the biggest one. This is a really, really big one. The number one thing that people will pay money for is status. Why will people, in theory, pay 50 grand for a Rolex watch when that Rolex watch is less good than a Timex watch? You realize there's no such thing as a Rolex watch that's as good as a Timex, right? That you get at Walmart? Do you know that? What can a Rolex watch possibly do that a Timex can't do? Do you know Indiglo? You remember Indiglo, the blue light on a Timex? Does Rolex have an Indiglo? No, it doesn't. It does not have Indiglo. Okay, so a $39 watch is superior to a Rolex watch. Why do people believe that a Rolex watch is better? Why would they pay 50 for a Rolex watch? Is it because it looks nice? They believe, in theory, in my opinion, I don't think they're right. I think in some cases they're right, but I think they're largely wrong. In some cases they're right. They believe that by wearing that watch, that will give them status over other people. Now, in truth, the only way to make money is when you're in a situation that you're leveraging the work of many other people. You can't make money just doing pure labor in most cases. You have to be leveraging the status of other people. Why do we see with kings and queens, there's a huge commonality in religion or with kings and queens? I do the same little thing in my own life. What they're doing is, look at what they do. The masses are in a complete derp state, right? They're in a derp state. They're also prone to looking for... The basic background is this. We can save time and energy by having other people tell us how to think. Okay? Say, we can save time and energy, by being told what to think. So most of us don't want to do our own investigation because we want to save mental energy. No different than why you want to take an elevator instead of the stairs. You want to let other people tell you how to think so you don't have to think. You want to break out of that. You want to hire experts who you trust to tell you how to think, but other than that, you actually want to train yourself how to think as well. So coming from there, given that human beings are very tribal, we're very much in groupthink, and we want to be told how to think, here's what generally happens. A king or queen, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's in Egypt, whether it's in Rome, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in China, think back to all these different kingdoms. What do you see? They make these big, lavish palaces, these big, lavish fortresses, right? And then they'll often, not to like criticize this, I don't want to get into some debate, but they'll use things like religion and imply the power of God, right? Like the divine right of kings. They'll create some kind of religious thing where that person has all these, you know, like look at like say these really fancy churches. Who's ever been to Italy and seen the churches? They're incredible. You ever seen them? They're beautiful, right? And they're designed to inspire, and they're beautiful, and I love them. I'm not criticizing them. I actually think it's smart, but what are they also doing? What do these big lavish structures also do?
Money and power.
They create an aura, they create a halo effect. They create this incredible halo effect. So generally speaking, why does a king or queen have all this money? So what they're doing is they're amassing massive power, and they're creating this image of massive power to get essentially a halo effect. Now, I want you to consider for a moment, even in your own life, when you've had a partner, and this goes for men or women, when you lose your halo effect in the eyes of your partner, what happens? You ever seen it? When you first meet your partner, you're on your best behavior, they're on their best behavior, and what do you think of each other? You think you're both amazing. Say after me, familiarity breeds contempt.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
In other words, I could charge somebody $50,000 for a one-on-one coaching for 3 days, but I can't get my closest friends to listen to anything I say. I can't get them to go out with me. If they have a breakup, I can't get them to go to the club with me. If they get sick, they won't take any health advice. And if I talk, they think it's annoying. And if I talk and they listen, they later will remark, hey, Owen, I sat there listening to you for a while, let you get all that off your chest. Think about that for a minute. Can any of you guys get any of your friends listen to anything you say? I can't. They listen to nothing that I say. They could care less what I say. And that's basically because familiarity breeds contempt. I remember one of my exes, she didn't believe in flossing. Okay? No joke. I shit you not. Do you guys know what happens if you don't floss other than gingivitis and teeth problem? Do you know the other thing that happens? Who here knows the other thing that happens when we don't floss? According to the things I read, I don't know if it's true.
Bad breath.
It affects your heart. Apparently it puts plaque in your heart. Is that true? Does anyone confirm that? What is it that happens?
I read a study about that.
Louder though.
Yeah.
Loud.
The same thing that you were just saying, like it creates like plaque in your heart and like atherosclerosis and things like that if you don't floss for a while.
Pretty crazy, right? Anyone here want to run to the run to CVS? So, okay, so that being the case, I'm telling her this. I'm literally coming out of a room like this where everybody's like, oh, let me hear what you have to say. I'm like, babe, could you please try flossing? She's like, stop bossing me around. I'm like, please. I love you. I want you to floss. I don't want you to die. Shut up. That's not true. It's not going to hurt your heart. I'm like, look at the Google. It says in the Google. Okay, whatever. What have I learned? Better to build authority, create the halo effect, get social proof, and then help the people who want to be helped. Don't waste your time on people who don't get you. Repeat after me. Don't waste my on people who don't get you, okay? And the reason why, and I'm going to get into this tomorrow, because we're going to finish a lot of the public speaking stuff tonight, but then we're going to go deep tomorrow. The biggest thing is the usage of your time. The biggest thing that I'm always thinking about is opportunity cost. What is the hidden cost of any action that you're taking? There's always a hidden cost. You think that that's just costing you a little bit of negative emotion? No, it's not. That could be costing you millions of dollars because you're literally wasting time in your prime years that you could be doing something. If you have a partner who is burning down your time with negative energy, criticism, not getting you, it could be your fault, and you should think about that. I always think about that. But if it's just part of their character to be complaining, remember, your partner, your intimate partner, is the number one person that has access to your emotions. The number one person. So in any case, if you're dealing with an intimate partner, and everyone has ups and downs, I'm very empathetic. I'm not looking for I'm not trying to date Eckhart Tolle, the woman version of Eckhart Tolle, okay? I understand that I have my ups and downs, someone else does too, and that acceptance is important. But if there's a consistent pattern that person's not willing to break out of that behavior, here's what I've noticed every time I've had a breakup. I have loved every girl who I've ever been monogamous with, but I'll say this. Every time I had a breakup with a girl that has emotional issues, I miss them to death and I feel like crap. I miss them to death. I feel like crap. But it's the weirdest thing in the world. While feeling like crap missing them, I feel a 50 or 300% increase in my energy. It is so crazy. I will feel it. It's like, when else in life would you feel really sad but energized? You're like, I have 3 times more energy. It's like I'm on coke and I'm sad. It's a very strange feeling. Quick question on this. I have a feeling you have a good question.
It's not quite a question.
Louder.
I was dating a girl before I came out here, and the first day in California, she actually ended up breaking up with me because I came out here. She was a very negative person, and I had a hard time because I was actually trying to help her break those habits. I can tell you I was upset for about 2 hours. I went to sleep that night, but the next morning I feel relieved, and I feel like it resonates. What you just said.
Got it.
Energy is a lot. I feel like there's a leech gone.
Yes, it's an energetic parasite being taken off. Now, by the way, here's the problem with that. And I'm not saying this to you, most people who think their partner is negative themselves. So keep that in mind, right? The most negative people I know think everyone else is negative. So do keep that in mind. It could be you. Okay, and I audit that on myself all the time. I'm like, is this me? I always ask myself that. You'll usually know after a breakup when your life just went into the stratosphere and theirs went down. You'll generally see. The breakup will reveal all. Because if they do this and you do this, or if they do this and you stay the same, then it was you. If you do this and then they do this, it was probably them. Not for sure. I mean, there's no 100% way, but that's common. So just be aware. There's always a hidden cost. Tomorrow we'll talk about that more, auditing yourself. There's always a hidden cost in every action you take. And part of self-development is understanding the hidden cost in every single action you're taking, right? You eat that crappy food, it feels good for a minute. What's the cost to your health? And a lot of these things are cycles and they build on themselves. So what happens is maybe you eat that McDonald's. Now you wake up the next morning with less energy. Now maybe you get sick later. Maybe a month later you get sick because it contributed to that. Maybe you miss opportunities. Maybe other people don't take you seriously. There are hidden costs of things that you have no idea. Part of really crushing it in life is really looking at the cost-benefit analysis and auditing your life. We're going to work on this tomorrow. Auditing your life, the cost-benefit analysis, and looking at what it is that you're doing. And when you start to realize what things are costing you and the real cost of it, and when you can actually start to see how awesome things can get when you're doing things properly, a lot of these things that you're thinking about, like this person disrespected me, or I'm mad about this, or I didn't get in this club, or this was embarrassing, you will stop focusing on that. And when you start focusing on the bigger picture, that's the big joke. Like, biggest example of all, but then I'll get on our exercise. Biggest example of all, we're on a spitting rock. We're evolved monkeys on a spitting rock. Why aren't we talking about this? Like, rather than even having an organized religion, why don't we all just get together once a year and cry and hug each other and go, we don't know why we're here? So, right, why aren't we having that conversation? I often feel, if you even just look at the view up here in the Hollywood Hills at the city, that life is so incredible that a lot of our complaints and pettiness is, the purpose of it is to block off how amazing life actually is. Life is such a mystery. It's so beautiful. It can be painful and beautiful at the same time. There's so much bad about it. There's so much good about it. It's so powerful. It is such a powerful experience that I believe that most of us will complain and go into our heads almost to put sunglasses on because the reality of life is too bright. We have to actually trade ourselves to even let in what it is that we're seeing. So that being said, that's a good lead-in, okay? Just give a couple little riffing here. And what we're going to do now is go into exercises. And the reason why is because in order to do the kind of things that I'm going to teach you this weekend, you have to know how to engage with people. So, like I said, I want to teach you how to build out your social media. I want to teach you how to meet people quickly and engage with them. I want to teach you how to put out a little bit of value with people and pull them into your life quickly if you want to, and for you to be in a situation where you can pick or choose who you bring into your life, so you can be screening, not always chasing. Because I bet you most of you in this room, you still feel like you're kind of chasing to get in the lives of people that are above you rather than screening other people and you coming from the position of choice. So I'm going to be talking to you guys a lot about that too, and building systems, really focusing on the things that actually matter and building systems around this, and then getting yourself, like once you get this stuff and it becomes obvious to you, it becomes intuitive, you'll be doing it naturally. Like, it's the most natural thing in the world for any of you that have ever been out to a club with me to walk up and talk to almost everybody. And it's the easiest, most natural thing in the world. And the reason why it's natural for me is because I understand what value is. I understand what is value to another person. I understand the appropriate degree with which I can give out that value that's not obnoxious. I understand as they're turning and getting to the point that they want more. And then I understand how to structure opportunities for them to engage with me more. When you understand how to do that, you're somebody that everybody loves. Like if you go out and you do it that way, half the people in the club are just going to tell you how awesome you are. Your experience of going out is like, you're awesome, you're the best, I've never met someone like you, I love you. And you're just going to hear this again and again and again. That's what normal should be. That should be normal. No different than when I put out videos, I walk down the street and people go, oh my God, wow, thank you, thank you. What's funny is I'm not doing anything that's necessarily anything better than anything anybody else in here is doing. But what I'm doing that's different is I understand how to curate what it is that I'm doing, present it in a way that's easily digestible, give it out in a way that's not too obnoxious to the people who like it, and then let them connect to it. Whereas you could have something amazing, but I have no idea what it is. So I'm not going to go, you're amazing, because I don't know what you have to offer. If I look you up right now, what do I know about you? If you go out, what's my chance to engage with you? I don't know. So for that reason, it's just the way that you're structuring it. It's just the way that you're systemizing what it is that you're doing that create those opportunities. But like I said, right off the bat, to be able to do the kind of things that we're going to talk about and to have this kind of transformation and to get you to your potential, I've got to show you how to engage with people. So the first thing we focused on yesterday is competitive versus collaborative. Not being in a paradigm where you're competing against everybody else and thinking you have to be better than them. It's a limited paradigm, and it will screw you over. And here's the best part. As we showed yesterday, even if you get to the top of the paradigm and you get the world record, you're still in competition. So you don't want to go there. You want to be in collaborative, okay? And remember, we talked about the paradox between the physical world and the energetic world, and how, yes, we do have to compete, but there's also an energetic realm to it where things can happen for us, and we have to engage with both. And anybody who's too extreme in one or the other will suffer the consequences. They're getting a win, but at what cost? Remember we said oversimplified metrics? Even a win, a big win, you have to ask yourself, what is the cost? For me, if I didn't get to spend time with my kids, wouldn't matter to me what I'm getting. If I don't get to engage with my spouse, what does it matter to me if I made a lot of money? It doesn't. I'm never going to be with a girl in my life who ruins my dreams to be with her as the cost of it, but I'm also not going to ruin my romantic life so that I can go make an extra buck. It's got to be in a balance. And you have to talk to people about that and clarify expectations. We'll get to that too. Now, going into public speaking, what we talked about yesterday, one thing was congruence. And what do we balance congruence with? What is it? Range of expression or expansiveness, right? Same thing, you got it. So range of expression and expansiveness. And what we had Louis up here. Where's he at? Back there. What's up, bro? And he's ultra congruent. And then to take him to another level, we got him to expand more. It's easy to be congruent and to be who you are when you're not competing with somebody. When you're in competition, there's always going to be these incongruent tells. Say the word incongruent tells. Incongruent tells. Okay, say the word beta tells. Beta tells. Okay, there's low status tells, beta tells. Like when someone does this, they start doing that. That's a beta tell. You know that if you're a man, you're talking to a woman, you start doing that, you know what the signature is there? You know what that's communicating to her? Please don't have sex with me. Please don't. Don't do it. Please. Please don't. Most of your communication is designed to make sure women won't have sex with you. Most of you guys in here in this room, the way you're communicating is done with the specific evolutionary purpose to make sure no one has sex with you. Why is that? It's important no one has sex with you. It's very important that no one has sex with you. Why is that?
Not break the rapport.
Because in a tribal hierarchy, the top guys are having sex with most of the girls. And so if you go have sex with one of their girls, what's going to happen to you? You're going to get killed. That little thing that you saw, where you see the guys doing this, that if I bring them into say that I do a party here, we're in a contained environment where I'm running it, and they're my good friend, they won't do that blinking thing because their unconscious mind is gonna say, I'm with the person running the party, so I don't need to do that weird blinking thing because it's okay for women to have sex with me because I know the hierarchy. Until your brain knows the hierarchy, your communication's gonna shift to make sure women don't have sex with you. Here's how I know this. If you go out and you're with say that you're with like one of your guy friends at a restaurant and your voice is coming across the right way and you're fun and you're gregarious, women will see it from around the bar and run over to your seat and sit with you and start touching you and grabbing you. So the reason why you're altering your communications is to stop that from happening. You're trying to stop that from happening. You don't want that to happen. Most of you guys, when I see you, I'm like, their brain's afraid they're gonna mate and they're afraid another alpha male is gonna come and murder them. Because there's no police in most of human history. Most of human history, there's no police. So if a beta male mates with a girl, he gets killed. That's most of human history. If a beta male mates with a girl, he gets murdered by an alpha male or by a group of alpha males. They just kill him. I mean, do you guys know how brutal nature is? In some species, if the female animal is pregnant, a male will go up, kill that male. This is disgusting, by the way. It's disgusting. And then go up to the female of that animal and start pounding its stomach until she aborts the kid, and then forces itself on that animal, and then puts his kid in it. That's how disgusting a lot of the natural environment is. So, and you better believe for a fact, we're tribal creatures. You don't want to get murdered. You don't want a big tribe of alpha males coming to murder you. So if you think that you're one of those guys, everything in your entire communication is to not have girls come at you. That's what you're doing. You're walking around in fear. And here's the best part. You ready for the best part? You're also going to get more cortisol in your system from that, which means you're going to get sick more because beta people get sick more. And you're not going to be able to think because your mind will be put in a derp state. So any kind of entrepreneurial spirit that you have, any kind of genius that you have is going to be stifled because, again, it's trying to save you from moving up in status because you're not sure if you move up in status, what will happen to you. So if I'm going to help any of you with business or public speaking or social media, we've got to get over that status anxiety. We've got to get you over that fear of winning. We've got to get you past that quickly because otherwise you're in a state of fear. And no matter what I show you, I could do your sales ad for you. I could do your social media for you. I could hold you by your hand, walk you past all the BS and take you there. Not only will you fail, but then after I get you to succeed, you know what you'll do? You'll get mad at me and you'll goof it up. I know because I've done it for people. They will goof it up. You'll see if people get too much success too quickly and they don't think they're ready, they'll start taking hard drugs, they'll start getting petty about nonsense. And last thing, and here's the biggest one, everything is opportunity cost. It's all opportunity cost. When somebody's afraid that their status is moving up, you will see them begin to focus off goal. So if there's this awesome goal that you see, they will start focusing on who crap talked them or the parking ticket or all this other stuff that, and here's the key, it is real. It's not fake. It's real stuff they're focusing on. It's real. That's the beauty. That's why it's so seductive. That person did say the thing. It is real. But what happens is that it distracts you from the larger goal. I've had to do it with my staff because I chose to work with a team and not do it by myself. I've had to do this for years. Every time that our company starts getting more revenues, we hemorrhage people. They start focusing on nonsense, things that are true, but that are irrelevant to the direction that we're going. And I'm like, come on, look at where we're going here. And they get blind to it, and then and here's the best part. If you say to them, look, this is where we're going, it's gonna be awesome, you think that fixes it? No, they get worse. They're like, no, the thing, and they start going crazy because they're afraid to move up. So keep that in mind. A lot of guys think that if they become like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, that women will like them. Do most women date guys that are stable? Look at all the most attractive women. What kind of guys are they dating? Come on. People gravitate to chaos. People gravitate to chaos. Okay? We gravitate to that which will feed our negativity. If we are carrying low vibration energy, we will gravitate to situations that feed our low vibration energy. Do you remember I said at the start of the seminar that the best theory that I have for why people act like this is maybe we're reincarnated and we're here to experience pain? Do you know what the real purpose of a romantic relationship is? Not the one they tell you in the Hallmark card. Do you want to actually know who we're usually attracted to? We're typically attracted to people that will traumatize us. And you want to know why that is? In theory, if you believe in spiritual growth, which you may or may not, but if you did, here's the theory of why. Could be true, could be not true, I don't know. The theory behind it is this. If you're being reincarnated and you have karma to work off, you're going to be attracted to things that will let you experience pain and go through lessons so that you can grow. And so we'll be attracted specifically to the people that will traumatize us so that we can, there's two reasons. One, so we can burn off bad karma. But number two, because when they push us through that trauma, then what happens is that we're forced to heal it. So that trauma that we get forces us to heal it. How many times have you guys had a partner who traumatized you right on your worst insecurity? Like you went into it thinking it was going to be so awesome. They hit you on your worst insecurity. And then, funny enough, when all was said and done, you actually had to heal it. You actually had to heal that insecurity. I have seen consistently that my greatest fears always come true. Like, you know, they say whatever you resist persists. The things that I'm the most afraid of happening, the worst things, most of them have happened to me. And then, you know what I realize? Shit's going to be fine. Things are going to be fine. And then I healed the trauma. So, as a last point to that, if you have a significant other, the best thing that you could do if you want to stay together, especially if you have kids together, because now you can mix up kids into it at some point, is what you got to do is you got to say, you know what? We're probably drawn to each other, A, because we have a lot in common or these cool things about each other, like they're super cool, and that's great. But B, probably because we're going to trigger each other, and what we should do is we should make a decision together to mutually heal those ways that we trigger each other rather than get after each other. We should actually learn how to communicate, and we should work through this together when we do that. Because it's not like you're going to be doing that all the time. It's just going to kind of come up from time to time. But I've certainly seen it. I have certainly seen it. And it's been a powerful experience. It's amazing. That's why people say, whatever, you know, those bad things you go through is what makes you who you are. Most people that have been through bad stuff, they don't regret it. They're like, well, some people go into victim. Oh, that's another quick last point. You can get bitter or better. Say it with me. You can get bitter or better. So you either are on the path of spiritual growth or you're on the path of going more into the physical. Someone who's purely in the physical, when something bad happens, they're now victimized and the trauma densifies and they go further away from God. Or you get better and you move more towards the source. So in a great way, a lot of these traumas that you experience, they're designed to make you more grounded, more present to the moment, and closer to the source. And we're going to do a lot of energy work here this weekend, so we'll get into that. Now, getting into our communication skills, we talked about, again, collaborative frame versus competitive frame. We talked about congruence versus expansive energy. And we got you guys to use an accordion and to make things more descriptive. So that's a good first exercise. Now, what I'm doing when I'm public speaking, I'm going to be teaching you more about public speaking tonight, is I'm also doing it where I'm letting it come to me. So say the word, let it come to me.
Let it come to me.
Now, this is a very, very powerful thing because the more that you're present, the less powerful that you're going to be. You've got to go away. Say, I've got to go away. Okay? So Owen's not here right now. And okay, that's good. Okay, the extent to which I'm here is the extent to which I suck. The more that I go away, like Owen's just playing video games now or something, the better this event's going to be. And the less that I'm here, you're going to have a much better time. I have to go away. I have to let it come to me. That means that you're tapping into a very, very deep part of your potential and a very, very deep part of your instincts. So I want you to consider that as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm off script. You guys understand that? I'm off script. And I can go off script at any point. So the way that I'm able to do this, like I said yesterday, is that remember when we let go, what do? When we ultimately let go, either we have an orgasm, right? When you ultimately let go, or we have a dream, right? So powerful things happen when we let go. So one of the ideas that I left you off with yesterday is the idea that we have control muscles, but what other kind of muscles do we have? Release muscles. And what are we primarily taught in society to cultivate? Control muscles. So when you were up here and I'm looking at you and you're going like this, that's because your reflex is to go into control. So you'll see when someone's speaking out of their head in control versus when they're in release. Okay, I can shift it right now to show you the difference, but it freaks me out. But I'll do it anyway for you, okay? But it freaks me out. And then it'll take me a minute to go back and release. So if I'm in release, what kind of power can I pull up?
A lot.
Okay, I could do a 500-person crowd, no mic. I can pull up a lot of power when I'm in release. The bigger the crowd, the more I have to release. The more that I release, the more that I'm opening the throttle. What that means is that I'm tapping into something, and if I release, the throttle's like that. The bigger the crowd, the higher the stakes, the more you got to open the throttle. Because you can't afford to be there. If you're there, and it's super important, you can't afford that. You remember I said at the free event, I said being depressed is the ultimate me show? Needing to be there when you're public speaking is the ultimate me show. It's about me. It's about me. If you make it about the group and you merge with the group, now it's about the group and then the power goes into it. That's why when people let go, what happens when someone lets go? What does the crowd do?
Cheer.
You guys remember that from yesterday? Okay. So most of you are used to being in control muscle, but you haven't even learned how to identify your release muscle. The only two places that you're getting a release muscle, or maybe three, would be an orgasm. And what is the main key to an orgasm? It's release, release, release. And by the way, there's another thing too, repetitive motion. Repetitive motion will lead to release. The reason why is because you take so much action, you're overwhelming the thinking mind. That's why sex is going to be repetitive motion in effect, right? So that kind of thing that's happening in speaking, again, you've got to go away. The way that you get somebody to have a very powerful climax is you've got to get them to go away. You've got to get them to stop being there in their head. You've got to get them to release. It's the same thing with going to sleep. How do you get yourself to go to sleep? You've got to release. You can't be like, I need to go sleep. I need to go sleep. I got to wake up in 5 hours. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I got to sleep. I got to sleep. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. Ah! What you've got to do instead is you've got to just let go. Just release. And then you'll just feel yourself go like that. What happens when you go like that? You start dreaming. What kind of imagination is your mind using in a dream? To what extent is your conscious waking mind capable of having the degree of creativity and imagination that your dream world has? It's outrageous. The things that I see in my dream are so crazy. If I could get just like a 5-minute clip of one of my dreams, we could make a movie of that, and that would be the blockbuster, like a 3-minute movie. It'd be the craziest thing. I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. Some are more creative than others, some are kind of scary, but you know my point. Your mind is so creative in a dream state, just like you're at your maximum creativity in your speaking when you let go. That's when you're going to be operating at a world-class level. I didn't come here to teach you how to be a so-so public speaker. I came here to teach you to be legendary, to be iconic. Well, in truth, there's only one real icon in the world, and that's God. And so you have to go away, and you've got to pull down some really powerful stuff. But to get that, you have to go away. You can't be in it to get the credit. You can't be in it for the credit. You've got to be in it to share and to be collaborative. That's where your real power is going to come from. Now, next exercise, we've talked about this idea of release muscles. What does that mean? Well, in public speaking, it means that I'm not thinking ahead. I'm really just letting it come to me. I've got to really stay centered in this perfect pocket and let it come to me. I've got to just let it come. I cannot start thinking ahead. And by the way, I can't be managing your perceptions of what you think of me. I want to be socially aware and not be a complete degenerate, unless that'd be funny. But I don't want to be managing perceptions too much. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go into an exercise. And we're going to go in a series of them. And I want to show you how to access these release muscles. So the first one that we're going to do, it's very, very simple. And I want you to do it with a partner. If you came here with somebody, I want you to pick somebody to do it with who you didn't come with. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to wind up getting in. You'll do the exercise for like 10 seconds. And then you'll just start talking about random stuff. You'll get out of this what you put into it. So I want you to have this experience. So what I want you to do is it's called the Magic 8-Ball exercise. You shake it up, and you just see what comes up. So what you're going to do is for 2 minutes, you're going to still your mind and not try to do anything. And when you do that, I want you to let whatever word happens to come up, come up. So there's only 2 rules to the exercise. One is you can't associate off the environment. The other is you can't associate off the previous word. So don't do this. Red, orange, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rhinoceros, elephant, crocodile. Like my kid can do that, okay? Now, you're now at the level of a 5-year-old if you're doing that. And likewise, don't associate off the environment. Don't go ceiling, light, floor, puppy, purple shirt, black jet. Okay, don't do that. Again, that's what I'd play with my children. So don't do that. I want you, now, if you do that, don't go, oh, stupid, fuck. Okay, don't do that. Just keep it cool, keep it chill. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to roll off of it, okay? It's like when you do meditation, you're trying to not think and be present, but if you do think, you can't be like, this isn't working, I'm thinking, right? Just recognize that it's happening and then move off it. So what we're going to do right now is, let me give you an example. So I'll still my mind, and it's very, very basic, but this is kind of leading into it. Ocean, star, opinion, cat, plane, jelly, TV, adrenaline, wind, skipping rope. So I just let my mind go blank. It's almost like it's almost like I'm taking a crap. I just like that. It's like that. So if you're taking a crap, what do you not do? How do you not take a crap? Okay, the other awesome thing that happens when you let go. So, okay, orgasm, dream, and a crap. So basically what you're doing is you're gonna feel your mind almost relax. You're gonna see, you know when you get a massage, you gotta just relax. Let your mind just go. And just let the word come up. And take as long as you need. It's not a competition. He's like, I am going to get the world record. And he will, right? So, and it's like, let go, let go, let go, let go. You let go. What are the 2 rules? What's the first rule? Anyone want to say? Don't associate off what? The environment. The second one is don't associate off what? The previous word. So again, just let your mind go, and get used to letting it come to you. Later, as you get better at speaking, you're going to stay in that release muscle for hours. And it's going to really freak you out because you're going to have no thoughts. What's going to happen when you learn to do this in an extended period of time is going to freak you out because you're going to be speaking and 8 or 9 minutes will go by and you haven't had a thought and you're going to be running on instinct and you'll be like, and then... So then you go back in your head, you'll lose your power. And then you'll be like, I was crushing it a minute ago. I want to crush it like before. And then you're going to try to do what you do and try to force it. And you're going to go, so anyway, then what you'll do is that, and you'll come from your head and it won't have power to it. It's really crazy stuff. I did this for years. For years this was happening to me. And especially because when you let go, it starts getting really good. And then the ego comes in the back door. It's like, I'm crushing it. and so what'll happen is you come out of your flow. When Kobe Bryant scored 81 points, he said he just had to stay in that pocket the whole time. Don't be like, I'm doing 60, I'm doing 70, I'm gonna get a big game, but guys, look at that. Right? You've got to just stay in that flow. Okay, that's what the pros really do here. So I'm helping you to identify where that muscle is, and I want you to be able to feel it, identify it, and cultivate it. This is just the beginning. We're planting a seed here, and we're gonna build this up. Okay, so get up, pick someone you don't know, do groups of 2 or 3, and do that exercise for about 3 minutes a pop. What's that? Either is fine.